Grand Rising loves, this is the altar spread for the collective today. It's a good spread. DNA showed up. Now DNA is all about the coding, the wisdom and the information that we have in this double helix. But it also talks about shifting from 3D existence into a higher dimensional existence. And this is interesting because I received a download last year actually that said I was receiving extra strands of DNA to withhold the higher vibration. And I was like, that's interesting. And so my son, being this uber cerebral visionary, I said, I wonder if that's something that can be tested. Like, wouldn't that be cool to have this scientifically proven too? And he said, Mom, if you do that, you will literally just disappear. And I was like, okay. So anyhow, but we are receiving DNA upgrades, and that's what this card shows. So this is what I've been talking about, like the denser energies. We can actually make that shift far easier if we are also putting in the work. That's the dedicated work daily to meditate, to raise your vibration. It makes that shift and that evolution easier for our physical bodies. And so if we work on that ourselves, then we get to also acquire the wisdom that comes along with that upgrade. And so that's a great card. Be very aware of your body, your being, and your true self, right? So our physical bodies have to be able to hold the spirit that we are. I've also been told, I have very unique physical traits that are rare, and so one is blood type, and the other is fascia, which I've been told by lovely massage therapist Becca and amazing acupuncturist Leisha, but I didn't quite understand it until Becca explained it to me, because Leisha said you need that fascia to hold the high vibration that you are, because it's immense. And then Becca described it as like this web, this connective web of my skin that can actually translate the energy of me. So it was really cool. Like the depth of my fascia is very unique, rare. And so it's why my body is soft. So I revere this earth suit for that holding. And so Jaguar showed up. Jaguar is one of my totems as a Nagual. And she is stealthy, and she is deliberate, and she is never prey. She is courageous, and she is powerful. But it showed up in the reverse. So in the reverse, Jaguar says, there's something that is weighing you down. And so Jaguar has a silent tread. Just like my other totem, the owl, has a silent flight. And so that very much describes how I move through life. It's creating very gentle wakes. And so she's saying you can't tread gently or lightly if you're bearing heavy shit. So if you still have things that are outdated, outplayed, expired, it's going to weigh you down, and then your tread won't be so gentle. So Jaguar in reverse is saying, what do you need to release? Because you have to be effective, be deliberate, be powerful, and you can't fully be in that role if there's anything weighing you down. And so this is good. And this really resonates with me because I'm doing very deep shedding. And I'm talking about even to the level of deleting contacts on my phone. So there's going to be quite a few people who are going to text me and I'm going to be like, who this? And, but it's good. I need that cleansing. I also need to create that space for what's really meant for me. And so if you're trying to draw in something immense, which I am, this energy is huge. And I need to create space for that energy. And it's what I deserve, and it's also what he deserves to have that space. So think about that. Like, what are you trying to co-create? What are you trying to plan for? And are you creating enough space for that plan? And Peridot showed up. And literally, this is the only piece of peridot that I have. So I realize in these pulls that maybe I'm a rock hoarder. You know, I love my crystals. But isn't that beautiful, that green stone? So this is actually a waist chain made by Monica Shirts. Shout out. Amazing. It's beautiful. This is obsidian. She put a couple little bells on it, and then the peridot. And peridot is about increase. And so if you want to know who she is, go to my website and message me, and I'll give you her contact information because she actually will sell online too. Beautiful things, crystals that she wraps. I have quite a few pieces of hers. Amazing. Anyhow, peridot is about increase. And we are in a period of increase, as we see with the DNA, right? We need to clear space for the increase. But with increase, we need to stay mindful about being in full gratitude of that increase, but also generous of the increase. So when you receive increase and you hoard or you're greedy, that's actually the same energy as scarcity. It's actually the same exact energy of not having. And so when we are in full gratitude and we're very generous, then abundance is an ever flow, if that makes sense. There won't be like this ebb and flow because of that energy of scarcity. I'm going to hoard it and now it's going to go away. When you stay in gratitude. So it's just being very mindful of increase, that when you receive the increase, a lot of people go like buck wild and celebrate. And I'm not just talking about financially, but about everything. They just forget the world because they're in this state of increase and bliss. But instead, sit in the gratitude of it and say, wow, thank you for this. Thank you for all of these things that I received, this grace that I received, and be generous about it. And so Palhik Mana, the medicine of the butterfly kachina, also talks about being in a period of increase, that we have made it past a graduation, and it's now our reward is entering this period of light and increase, and to be fully gracious and in gratitude about that increase because it's deserved. And so knowing that you deserve is not entitlement. It's not like, yeah, it's about fucking time. Like, I knew I deserved this. No, it's, wow, thank you for recognizing that I put in what I needed to put in and I'm receiving what I put in. That's what that's about. That's what gratitude is about. And it's about also being in surrender of receiving and receiving graciously. That's love, right? So when you're in a state of love, everything rights itself. everything rights itself. That's the intent that I've been talking about for months. That love harmonizes everything. It will help with the increase. It will help you do the shedding. It will also help you be more gracious in that receiving and usher you into the light. So create the space and be grateful when the flow happens. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.